the world. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. You all may be seated. You all just stand here with me. You can take a seat. Brother Aaron, Brother Captain, you can take a seat. Feel like I want to be lonely today. First thing I want to do is to thank the ones that's here in Buffalo that has been working diligently, getting the word out about what we're doing. I think we're on the TV station here once or twice a week. So I want to thank you all for having us here. I know it should be more people here than this. I think more people came from other states than what I see here. I don't know if everybody's outside on post, come inside. You might want to hear this today. You know, just have someone stand at the door to guide the people in. You know, the minister, what he was just speaking about, it could be tasteful or distasteful. However, it is something that is of interest to every person that is concerned about the time and what must be done. When you equate the time according to a person that is mastering it, we have to think of certain pronounced individuals. And the minister most certainly is one. He is the last one of those that is pronounced, so we think of him the most or the greatest. Warideen and Silas Muhammad, we know of them, but they seem to have faded somewhere into the sunset. The minister is fading, but he isn't gone. So he still is an interest to us, or black people, or white people, or people, period, that's in North America, to the righteous and the enemies. So what the minister spoke about, he gave a little proof of what's happening, what was written about, so we shouldn't be surprised at what's taking place. What we should be happy about is myself and what I'm doing. We have it set up here. After I say a few words, we have it set up for you to ask questions. I want to make sure if you don't want to hear what I have to say, you ask me a question, maybe you want to hear what you want to know. So you will at least go home with something. In a sense, I'm very, very happy because of the time. Not so much because of the acceptance of the people about what we're doing, because we're so young in the minds of the people, to the eyesight of you. We haven't been here very long doing what we're doing. However, we have a nation in motion. Food, clothing, and shelter. We have the system already in motion and it's going. We need to have you all to investigate so as that you can take advantage of your own nature and grow in it. Then this way, whatever comes up that is against you, we will have at least built a platform or a base where we will not be affected in a negative way. Are you all listening? Yes, sir. Based on what the minister was just speaking about, I'm going to say a couple words about that and then get into some things I want to speak about concerning the time and myself. You know, and you all get this tape. Make sure you get it and you listen to it and study it. Instead of talking about things that happened in the past to bring it up current, we're speaking about the Nation of Islam and the United Nation of Islam, or its leader or spiritual head, so as we have a good understanding or an accurate understanding as to what really is happening concerning God. Now, everybody except myself talks about God as though he's in a distant place somewhere. He's off somewhere. He exists, but he isn't right here today. And before you see him, you're to be acquainted with his son, Jesus. And he himself is not here. You can only witness him in your heart. So it always leaves room for error in your interpretation as to what's being explained to you. Even the minister, he's the closest one that's been performing or giving some type of message concerning Allah, as though he's almost got his hands on him. Everybody else is vague, he's off. But the minister is close. It's like he speaks in such a way that he has a personal relationship with a man, God. Up until here recently, when he stepped into Orthodox Islam, and it goes back into that spook God again. However, we still remember him as being in power. It's not a good thing, or it's not attractive to remember someone when they're down. So now when we speak of him, we like to remember him as when he was up, he was flourishing, he was bright, he was light, he was expressing Allah, he was bringing lightning down from the heavens. So you knew God was with him, at least the energy was there. It was like he could articulate Allah's being. You could picture it in your mind. That's the closest you could ever get to thinking that God is a man in this recent time. Now when Elijah was here, Elijah was speaking the same. However, he said that he knew Allah as a person, knew him personally. However, since he was there getting the message, we were not to expect to see the live, living God in person at that time. Matter of fact, he made a statement, after me comes God himself. Not Master Prophet Muhammad, he came first. Then Elijah. He said, after me comes God himself. So the thinking person will say, well, when the duty of the messenger is completed, I can expect to see God. Especially if I have any understanding that the one to blow the trumpet would come first, after the messenger. However, what he was saying wasn't no more powerful than what the messenger spoke, or it was less. So it wasn't really to make no fuss over him, because the one that was really coming is God himself. Is that clear? Well, since the minister has abandoned that particular reality right at the time when I'm here, and he had the opportunity to actually introduce me as the minister has done, which he will do if he lives. You know, I spoke last time I was before the public concerning him as being a hypocrite. The messenger made a statement that there was going to be a chief hypocrite that would make Malcolm look like child's play. Malcolm. So it couldn't have been Malcolm, the chief hypocrite. The chief hypocrite was to make Malcolm look like child's play. Well, let's examine current events, current history. And the reason why I'm doing this is to make sure you have an understanding of what is and is not. If you still run in your mind that Minister Farrakhan is, you're in error. He is what? Now, if it's going to be a chief, the chief's got to be in a chief spot. He can't be no lieutenant or a captain. He'd either have to be a supreme captain or a supreme minister or hold a supreme post. Now, if he's going to make Malcolm look like child's play, Malcolm was right next to the messenger as the representative. He was so powerful that he took a third of the angels with him when he fell. But according to the description of what the messenger said, he is a child, according to this next one. Malcolm never spoke to thousands such as what the minister has spoken to. He never did that. He never had the nation free to himself. He never had it, because Elijah was here the whole time. So this particular one had the nation free to himself. So he could shape and mold it in a way in which it pleased him. And which we see it has done nothing for us. Now let's look at the climate when Malcolm was here. He was very articulate, charismatic, got everybody's attention in their ear. And when he got to feeling so big and too big, and the messenger asked him to sit down, I think for 90 days, because of the statement he made concerning John F. Kennedy Sr. And I want you to keep up with it, because you got to see this. If you don't see this, you're not going to see me. If you don't see me, you're not going to see the hereafter. Simple as 1, 2, 3, regardless of who you are. Because he would not submit to the teacher because he felt so big. This is in a physical sense of what I'm speaking about now. Physical. So when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, shortly thereafter, because of Malcolm's behavior, he got assassinated. Is that right? Yes, let's come right on up to modern history. Stepping into the spiritual sense of the same principle. The Kennedy that just passed got himself killed. Nobody killed him. It was from his own actions that he lost his life. However, look at the minister. One hypocrite leaves, in other words, I'm showing you pronounced signs. One hypocrite leaves, the child leaves. Here comes, it come back around again. Here comes Kennedy, same name, but he's the second. He loses his life. Nobody has killed Minister Farrakhan or Lewis. However, he has killed himself. He's ineffective. He's at a time now where he has cancer. He's almost in bed. Or we can put in our mind whatever it is about him that is not good because we don't see him. We don't hear nothing from it. It's cloak and dagger. You got to surmise as to what's taking place. It is that much secret, and you God's man, and you got that type of illness, and you're talking to the public, and God has you standing before the public as his representative, and when something hits you like that, and you don't let people know what's going on, you're dead. It's at the same time they said that this Kennedy family were cursed. Well, we could go into that, but we're not talking about Kennedy. We're talking about the man of God or the men of God. So if you don't see the correlation today, right today as we're speaking, Minister Lewis, really not Farrakhan, Minister Lewis is out of the box. The nation is gone, it's finished. Year 2000 is here. It was brought to my attention as something that was written in the Caucasian's paper on the internet. There's going to be a few more months, if Allah bless him, to come back into health. A few more months, few has got to be 3 or more. It means 2000 is here. What are you going to do within that period of time to bring safety to us? If you had 20 years and haven't got a platform set up and a base set up, you're not going to do nothing in those 3 or 4 months. So to let you know, in the beginning it was physical. In the end, this is spiritual. This is spiritual. The man has no effect on anything that is righteous today. Everything that he has kept away from you now, the ditch that he has dug, he's fallen in it. And all you all that are with him are in it too. However, you got a way out. He does too, but it's harder for him to get out because he's deeper in. Hope you get this tape and study it. Well, I thought I'd just bring you up on that concerning the nations or the things that we are interested in or should be. You know, if somebody gave you $1 million or more, and they said, well, the $1 million is in the bank. Well, that's good. Which bank? Did you all see the movie of Clint Eastwood, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? He had to keep him alive to find out which grave. If he knew, he could kill him. But he didn't know. So they had to keep each other alive. You follow what I'm saying? All right, well, if that's understood, I'm going to get into a couple of things of myself and what we're doing. However, Buffalo, this is the first time I've ever been here in the sense of speaking. I used to come here almost every week. I was bringing produce here for you. I don't know if you knew it was me. But I used to come here every week, bring a truckload of produce. I used to hate it in the wintertime. You had so much snow, a couple of times I couldn't get out of here. Of course, it's brought on by the lake and the lake effects. And the deal in Buffalo, you got to have knowledge. To deal with the lake here, you got to have more knowledge than the Lake Michigan. Matter of fact, this particular place here in Buffalo, New York, and Canada, is where the Indian lost his knowledge as to know how to fly. And if some of you all that have a little age to you may know about the nickel. It has the buffalo on it and the Indian with a feather in his hair. This is where he lost the knowledge to know how to fly. Canada means where it's contained, or we contained it. Not just that knowledge, but quite a few other things. So you are really living in a real powerful place. However, it won't serve you unless you have powerful knowledge. Which most of us here in North America, North America itself really produces nothing really of any type of knowledge that is really good for anybody. It's almost like in the lessons, it's called the poor part of the planet, in which it really is. Except for a couple pieces that came from another continent and came over here and attached itself to North America that gave it a little value. However, that's going to break off and go back to where it came, or it's going to leave from here. When the messenger was here, he gave the message, and by the time it was time for him to leave us and allow the righteous to determine if they were really righteous, meaning give us an opportunity to live what we said we believed, it was 1975. 7 is the number of the new Allah, or the God, at this particular time. All of the numbers of Allah are the uneven numbers. From 1 to 10, you have the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, and the 9. Those numbers represent Allah himself, myself. And it is that way because you can't add nothing to it. It always by itself. You can't take no two numbers evenly and add it and get either one of those numbers. So it's always standing out by itself as independent. The rest of the numbers represent the God that was already here, or the original God, the one of two natures. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's why the minister reading before that the number of the man is 666. Also the number of the beast. It's talking about the God, that God's number up until I came was 6. Means that it's incomplete. He's still talking about 2. This time is 1. 1. During the time when the messenger was here, and we took him in 1975. That's half of it. Justice. He had gone to the point to prove that Allah is here during the 70s. Hope you listen. During the course of the 7, which you got 10 numbers in the 7, during the course of the 70s, the number of God, he proved that God was here and is a man. Now, after that proof was made manifest, we took the messenger and we used the latter part of the 70s to determine who was real and who wasn't. In other words, the ones that was with the messenger was tested, as it reads in the Quran. When we send you a teacher, before we test you, we remove the teacher. So this particular test is the greatest test that it has ever been, because of the magnitude of what he was bringing. So after 1975, the first 3 years after the messenger was taken was a test for the believers that said that they believe what the messenger taught or brought. And out of that, we got 30% or 3% out of 10% or 30% out of 100% of what came with the messenger. 70% vanished, went with Wallace. Or very few went with Minister Lewis before 1980. If you want to read about that after listening to this tape, go read Daniel. And it'll tell you about Wallace that came in and tested us after we took the messenger. It tells you how many days that the man would be doing this. And he took the nation and made it desolate. And Daniel was asking the question, how long, Lord, how long? And he gave him the end of the days. And if you believe this held to it, he gave you another number of days. That then you would be sealed after you were tested. If you stayed to that number of days. You wouldn't be free at that time. You would have to wait until the end of time. And then the God would come himself and break the seal. Well, the God couldn't come in the 80s because 8 is a number that stands for unknown. And what it means is that we have firmly established that God is a man during the 70s. However, we don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to do it since he has taken the messenger. So we go through another number 8, the number of 8, 10 digits in the number of 8, wondering what is God going to do? It's unknown. We don't know. So during that number, it's styled in our lessons as being the night or the darkest part of the night. Remember, Allah told the messenger to tell them, Elijah, come follow me, come follow you. And I'll put them in heaven at once overnight. And the darkest hour is just before dawn. And the 80s was the darkest hour. Because now you had this knowledge, you had the message, you could play it back, you could read it. You got 5 books of Moses, 5 books of the messenger, you could read this. But since you was in the 8th, you still couldn't put your finger on nothing definite other than God is a man. And Elijah was, or is, his greatest messenger. Now what? So after the 80s, or during the 80s, the minister was actually Minister Farrakhan that time, because he was resounding the message so that those that did pass, that lasted beyond that second period of days, and that were sealed, they could be comforted in their sealing. They know he didn't have the power to actually put them in heaven or give them proper understanding. However, he could reaffirm in their mind that what they were told and what the message was absolutely true and right. So they would be still waiting for this God to come after Elijah. And at the ending of the 8 or 80s, then steps in the 9. The number 9 stands for infinity, infinite. The only thing that is infinity or infinite is God himself. All right, this comes in 1990, and those of you that have your lessons and you have the problem book, go to problem, I think it's lesson number 32, if I'm not mistaken, and read that. And it starts telling you in the beginning about a lion caged up, he's walking to and fro, backwards and forth. If you know how to read it, it lets you know when the God came in the 90s. He went to his minister or messenger first, or his representative first. 1990. The God showed up and went to Minister Farrakhan first, meaning me. I went to the palace and spoke with him. He was so nervous about me coming, he sent word and said, before you come to the palace, come to the temple. I want to see you. At temple meetings, sit in the audience. Of course, me being God, I don't never look threatening. So he wanted to see. So I came and sat on the 3rd row on the outside. That's where they placed me. He came and looked at me, talked, spoke, watched me quite a bit during his lecture. And when it was over, he sent word for me to call him in the next morning, at 5 o'clock the next morning when he's taking his exercise. I called him. He answered the phone. I got an appointment. I went and saw him, spoke with him. He was so elated that he gave me another appointment. I went back and spoke with him again. At the first time I said, I'll be speaking with you 3 times. The third time, I have to be here with you. So he's kept 2 appointments. He's doing all he possibly can to ignore the third one. But he can't get away. We're in the 90s. After me comes God. That's what the messenger said. So if 90 represents God or represents infinity, you can't fight. There's no boundaries. There is no boundaries. And if you're going to apply it to a person, it's got to be Allah himself. He's the only reality that you cannot put into a boundary. So he's the fullness of that particular number. And if you notice, once you leave it, you got to go back to 1 with a 0. Is that right? So we're living in it. Now we're into 1999. So I have to acquaint you with what has been stopping you from seeing the real God. I've got the nation going. Most of you don't know. 9/10 or 90% of the black people and white people in North America do not know me, don't even know I exist. However, we at the 1999, and over half of that. Why haven't you seen me? If I visited him in 1990, he's had 9 years of knowing and watching and seeing and listening. And Sister Tynetta, the messenger's wife, one of his wives, listened to one of my tapes. And she made the statement, he's got to be alive, or only the messenger could tell him what he's saying. Nobody else has the knowledge to teach him that. She didn't say he had to talk to the minister, because only the minister knows. She said only the messenger. She made this statement back in 1992, close to 1993. But you still don't know me. If she said it publicly, she must have said it to him. But you don't know. So this is why here in Buffalo, where you need a little knowledge, and a little knowledge will come from today, we'll get some type of understanding between the two of us. Who should be and who should not be. Whose time it is and whose time it is not. And it is, if not one of you, hope you listen, if it's not one of you, accept what you hear. If you're too bound up with selfishness or self-aggrandizement to use the math, I won't miss you. Because if you never come, I never had you. And those of you that come with me and say you're with me and you leave, you never were with me. So I still haven't lost nothing. If I'm the new God, or I'm the new Allah, the one that's spoken about in Revelation 21, a new God, a new heaven. If I'm that, and I have more knowledge than the original Allah, and the original Allah created you, so you must know I don't miss you. I would if I didn't have the power to reproduce you. Are you listening? Yes. Well, if you're not listening, those that buy the tape, you'll be listening because you can't see me. And if anybody here today is too poor and can't buy it, we'll give it to you. You go and listen to it. And don't just keep it to yourself. Share it. If you think you can't explain it, let somebody listen to it with you. And if it gets too complicated, call me. My number is 1-800-331-7668. I'll pay for the call. And if I don't satisfy your question, I'll take my shingle down. Well, I wanted you to know about this 9 and the one that's here and the one that is pretending. Or in 1 Kings, he's styled as Adonijah. He had the nation first. However, it was not to be his. The nation was to be Solomon's. And that's what it's going to be. That's not debatable. That's already prophesied, and you cannot make the prophets a liar because they're backed up by God. I want to, due to the number of people here, I really would like to, in this world, say cut a jig. Because of what is taking place When I first got started, every word was a pain if I had to deliver it, because what I was speaking seemed to be an offense even to my children. So it was a pain to deliver it and receive the rejection. So now it has gotten to be from that time up until now, because before I went to the minister, as it is written concerning Solomon, I had 13 years to build my own home, meaning to get my own family together, before I went to the minister. So if you encompass that 13 years with that lesson 32, you'll come up with it when I went and seen it. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you. In the beginning, like every word was a pain because of the reaction or the return that I got from it. Now, I want to cut a jig almost, and I do sometime when I'm at home. People live next door to me, they constantly hear quite a bit of laughter. Because now, everything that I'm doing is becoming less and less painful. Because the return that I'm now receiving from it is submission. I don't get the abrupt harshness, not even from the ignorant now. And those are the ones that's with Louis. They have subsided quite a bit. So every day it seems to be getting better and better. And if it's getting better and better and I'm feeling better and happier, I can be more myself. So I can magnify, like it reads in the prayer, or we were taught to pray, or it reads in the Quran, that you are to pray, for surely Allah, thou art praised and magnified. Not that Allah went and did everything in a big way. He started off very, very small, almost where you couldn't see it with the naked eye. However, since it is real, and all real, anyone that comes to it and accepts it automatically magnifies it. So now this nation that I'm building is becoming magnified. Once I only had one truck. Now we have trucks. We only farmed on one farm. Now we have farms. We only had one house. Now we have houses. We only have one business. Now we have businesses. Everything is pure and is constantly growing. However, what I want to see grow is your ability to think and discern what is right and what is wrong, and then make the necessary move towards the right direction. Not just to have it and know it and you stand still. Are you all listening? Yes, sir. It's too hot in here. You're sleepy. How many here today that are visitors, never heard me before, saw me before? May I see by the raise of your hands? Don't be bashful, just raise them up. Okay, well, I see a few hands, but I see some faces I've never seen before that haven't raised their hands. This is the best organic medicine that one could receive. What you're hearing today. As the book reads, if you got an ear, hear. I say listen. Because you listen, it means that you take a mental note or you make a list of what you're hearing. And you don't forget it. But if you just hear it, it goes in one ear, possibly out the other. You got that? Well, if any of y'all got any questions for me, I think we have a mic in the floor. You can come up and ask questions. I'll entertain you for a while, or entertain the question. I wanted to make clear to you all the current time. So those of you that are visiting for the first time you heard of me, when you leave, don't go out and say, well, look, I seen a man today that was introduced as being very handsome, but that's not what I saw. What the brother was explaining wasn't what your eyes were to see. If I had the knowledge to create, I most certainly have the knowledge to make my personal appearance comply with the beauty that I am. So I thought I'd clear that up with you, what the minister just spoke about. And when you go out and you speak concerning what you heard today, listen to the tape again. If you try to repeat it just the way that I am delivering it to you, you are unable to do it. You're going to put your second thought in it, and it's going to taint the whole thing. So the person is going to say, you believe that? And they will be right if I said what you are saying I said. I'm speaking the English language. However, the rhythm that I'm using to speaking and the math that I'm using, these are words that you're accustomed to, but they're not placed in a place where you're accustomed to hearing them or seeing them. So it gives the language a completely different meaning, using the same old thing you've been using. This is where it reads about when Allah comes, He will speak in your same language. However, it will appear to be new to you. Is that clear? So don't leave here without getting the tape. And I say, now, you don't have no excuse unless we didn't make it. And I think we brought the duplicator. Did we? Did we bring the duplicator? Hollow it out. So we should duplicate these tapes and you should take them with you. And we have many other ones also. I think we brought from our farm some of our watermelons, some of our produce. We brought it on the belly of the bus. I think 2 coaches came. There's not enough people in here to fill up both buses. I don't know what happened to everybody. Y'all came and then ran away? Just a question. Well, we brought some things for you to take with you. And I'm quite sure we have a table in the rear with some of the things that we're doing. Those are examples or little tidbits of what we're doing. They must be magnified. And I would like for it to be magnified by you in your thinking and in your giving. We don't mind white folks helping us. Their style in the book is the enemy. And it reads in the book that even the enemy, the stranger, helped Solomon. And I didn't see him as an enemy or stranger. I just saw him in what he was doing. If he did right, he received right. If he did wrong, he got the boot. Same way he do us. If you do wrong, then he receive you. If you do too much wrong, either the way the rhythm that he does it, then he give you the boot. If you do too much right in his system, he give you the boot. That's why Minister Lewis can't get nothing done. Because he wants to do it the way the white man does it. And that's a threat. He wants to make money. That's what this man does, make money. The real God coming, he ain't coming to make money. He's coming to save your soul. And do away for the need of money. Make you like the bird. Free. Get the knowledge back like the Indians had so you can fly. Physically fly. Give you the knowledge so you can go inside the earth. See the beautiful cities that's built there that's already there. You know, like when the messenger said to Jesus, really, the messenger say, you know, I'm going to my Father's house. For there are many mansions. I'm going to prepare one for you. So where I am, you shall be also. So it's not no place out in the sky. If you're going to be there with him in this physical body, you better be attached to this earth. So since you can't find it on the outside, there ain't no such thing as paradise on the outside of this earth for this black man. Not in the terms of what God is saying he has. And if you can recall the duty that the original God, not Moses, the Lord gave Solomon this duty. He told Moses, he said, you shall not build my home. You shall have a son named Solomon, or his name shall be Solomon. He shall be my son, and I shall be his father. He shall build my home. And the house that he builds for me has got to be better and more magnificent than any other house that has ever been built. So regardless of what you are marveling over today, to what great builder that has built it, it compares none in the least to the one that I'm building. And there's many mansions that has already been built that's in the earth, built of gold, that you and I, or you have not laid an eyeball on yet. They're there waiting for us. Is that clear? Yes, sir. So if you gain this knowledge, or if you're with me, you're destined to go there. You must know everything that exists so you can be confirmed in whatever that's in your mind that's new, that's in accord with me in my rhythm, so you can bring it out. If you don't know it, you're not permitted. If you don't know what exists in the righteous sense, in the not just spiritual, in the righteous sense, meaning if the earth was turning 1,003 miles per hour, that's the knowledge that's right concerning that rotation. You got to know that because it's true. So if you want to put something in rotation, compare it with the same laws, you got to know what already exists to make sure you don't insult or get yourself killed.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Well, I won't just keep going on with this, because the minister spoke a while. I don't want you to get tired. You need to confirm and firm this base up. You should know in yourself and speaking in the prayer, for I have been greatly unjust to myself. It starts out, oh Allah, I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against my faults, for none grants protection against faults except thee. So it's like saying if you have two natures, you got a fault. I come as the one. I am the one to change that, so that you be able to come into all the knowledge of all things, and then bring out some things that hasn't existed yet. Would you like that?
Yes, sir.
That will give you reason for life and life eternally. No more reason for death. The only reason why we have death is because Buddhism sits in. The lack of knowledge. If you're wise, it means if you learned everything here to be learned, then you can't find nothing new, so there's no reason for you to stay. If you're ignorant, you just do dumb things and kill yourself unknowingly. If you're with me, the last enemy that I'm to do away with is in the book is styled as death. And after I get rid of it, I ask the question, oh grave, where's your victory? Oh death, where's your sting? It's gone. You will live forever. And what will perpetuate your living forever is that you always have the ability to come up with something new. That's what we need. We need a new God. You got it. We need a new nation. It's in development. We need new purpose and aim and direction. I have it for you. Even the Caucasian wants something new. He's sick of himself. And we already knew that because we gave him 6,000 years, and when he got to the end of it, if he was still gung-ho about what he was doing, he would put up a real strong resistance about leaving. He's not putting up a resistance about leaving. He has put it in place to make sure you go with him. Not with me. You go with him. So if he wants to be with me, he can come with me. Live for 1,000 years. But the majority of their thinking, those are the ones that's in power, have never experienced humility or humbleness. So when we asked him, Iblis, will you submit to this one fashioned and shaped out of black mud? He said, no, I can't do that. You didn't make me to do that. So we had to honor him because he said what we did, not him. So we didn't make him to do that. We can't expect him to submit. Now, if he does, power to him. If he don't, we can't point a finger at him. However, 6,000 years is 6,000, period. We're not extending it. We gain an extension of 70 years after the coming of Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to start the redemption or the revival or the bringing back of the ones that was lost. And Allah appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad in 1930. And we told the Caucasian, the man that's ruling this planet, that we will give you 70 to live. Our score is 20 years. So 1930 to year 2000, I don't care what you say, it's over. Now, the wisest thing you can do, be with me. If you got anything that you have accumulated, that you built up, made a storehouse, if you don't want to give it just based on words, do like you always do. Go take the microscope and look down at me and see what you find. And if you find everything that is written and prophesied of, it'll be wise that you step on that side and bring what you got. We've already taught approximately 3 million Caucasians just enough knowledge of right in the process of it that they will be with me. They're called Muslim sons. And we've made them rich. So it depends upon what they do with their riches, whether they'll be saved or not. However, black man, it is you that we after. The same as when the Caucasian came, it was you that he was after, and he got you. With our permission. Now, the voice that has been crying in the wilderness has cried, and you're supposed to have heard it. The wilderness is right here in North America, the most uncivilized planet or part of the planet on the planet, with the knowledge that they have. You may go to Africa someplace and find someone that is actually more barbaric, but they don't have the knowledge. If you got the knowledge, you going out into space, visiting the other planets, and you're circling I just seen today, these comets, and then carry on the behavior here like you're doing, then you can be charged for being barbaric, not the ones that don't have the knowledge and being barbaric. Is that clear? So that's what's happening. So one thing I do know about the Caucasian, he's a separatist. Regardless of how many children that is born into a family, each one sees himself as a singular individual. In a way, that's a blessing. So if we take one and leave the other one, there's no dissension. If one says, well, I'm going with Solomon, they say, well, go ahead, I ain't going with him. There's no hard feelings. But we, the black people, let you know that God is here, fulfilling what the messenger brought to us, a live, living man. And he starts doing what is prophesied of him to do. And because he's not wearing the title Nation of Islam, you're going to tell everybody, forget him, leave him alone. He's a hypocrite. And the one you with is a hypocrite. This is happening every day. You might say, well, you're talking a lot about Farrakhan. They talk a lot about me. The point is that you've got to know the difference between the two. If you keep stumbling and fumbling in the dark, such as you are, and we got a couple more months, 90 is gone. 90 is gone. That's why it's written. That the prophet said he looked and he saw 144,000 going to heaven with their Lord. They were sealed. After that, I don't care how good and righteous you turned, you couldn't go with that number. You didn't make it. You thought you had all kind of times. Well, I'll party and boogie and do everything I want to do, and I'll know when it gets to the last day, then I'll jump on that side. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. This is so thorough. This is so thorough. Even the way you comb your hair tells something about you. So you just can't jump over. And the people that's there are supposed to say, oh, well, he can't be with us, he's one of us. Nope, your hair ain't combed right. You got the wrong color shoestrings. You might say, well, that don't mean nothing to the God, it does. The length of your fingernails is too long. They're the wrong color. You might say, well, that don't mean nothing to you. To you, it don't mean nothing. That's why it reads in the Holy Quran, what's little to you is large to me. And what's large to you is little to me. And in the Bible it reads, your thoughts are not mine, and mine are not yours. And the preacher says the Lord works in mysterious ways. I'm telling you. All these are hints and clues that I'm sharing with you now. So to make the proper choice, get this tape and other tapes and listen. Don't just get it and carry it home. It's good when you go, if you got a car, pop it in while you ride. You will get to where you're going before you know it. And if you don't hear something that is new, that is touching your soul and making you come alive again, call me. I'll send you something. I'll make a tape especially for you. All right, I'm going to open up the floor for questions. If anyone has any questions for me, come to the mic. I see we have a couple of the second uncles here. I don't know if you all know this or not, but the Caucasian in style is our second uncle. Because the mother of Master Fard Muhammad was white, his father was black, so his mother had a brother. And as a people, they are second uncle. So I'm saying to you right now, second uncle, we don't see our father, unless it's going to be me. So we're coming to you, uncle, and asking you, look, we need help. So what you got, turn it loose. If it ain't nothing but knowledge. And knowledge sometimes just tell us where to go. Not to hell, because we're already there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. I have this spiritual connection between Buffalo and Kansas City. And in my travels from Buffalo in 1961, throughout the journey of the Nation of Islam, I have met every personality or every pronounced one that has come forth, including the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Lewis, Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm, and all the ministers. And when I met you, there is none that have left the impression on my mind and on my person as you have done. And I'm here to bear witness unequivocally that you are who you say that you are, and you have proven that in so many ways. What you have done in Kansas City, what you have done in heaven, and what you have did personally for myself. So I wanted to witness that you are indeed the Son of Man, Allah in person, and you are the new God. Praise be to you.
Thank you.
The question that I wanted to ask you, most often when people come to Buffalo, they want to go to Niagara Falls. There's something about Buffalo and Niagara Falls, the connection there. Could you give us a spiritual understanding of the significance of Niagara Falls?
Yes, sir. Niagara Falls, the significance of that is pertaining to the Indian. And in this modern day language, a person that is nothing is called nigger. Now, if you look at it on the other sense, nigger means God. In some time back, when the Indian had rebelled against God and asked to be free of him, that's what he took on, the characteristic of nigger. And that's where his pronounced fall took place, right here. So this is the place. This is where the nigger fell. You understand what I'm saying? We keep in mind, we already knew what the language is and was going to be before it was expressed. We do things 25,000 years in advance. We knew about this English, so much so we call it English because it's the last language on the list that God would recognize out of the four. So it's called English, last on the list. So we knew what words was going to be used, so to talk to the people in a way that they would understand at this particular time, because it's a new God that's on the scene, not the old. It's written in Revelation 21:7 3 times. Makes 21. You're a man when you get to be 21. So if that is true, this new God in Revelation 21, which is myself, got to be new. He's got to be a man at that time. And that's when he says, I make all things new. All of the old former things are passed away. So the language that you all were used to, we had to already know it. So when we get to explain and express what was actually taking place, we were using the language that you were in accord with, that you could easily understand. You don't need a big dictionary to understand it. So the man rebelled against us. He wanted his freedom from us. So we answered his quest. We gave him the color of freedom, which is red. The white man makes mockery of him, calling him the red man. They had a football team called the Redskins. He rebelled against that. So letting you know, it's not a color that comes from grafting. It's a color put on him by the power of God to show that this man is free of God. He don't have to answer to God. He asked for freedom, we gave it to him. However, he's been losing knowledge ever since. Right now he's on a reservation. He had all of this. Canada also. But now if you're going to go see him, you got to go to where he is. However, the knowledge, the last pronounced bit of knowledge that he lost was right here where the fall falls, and he's a nigger in our eyesight, and that's why it's called Niagara Falls. Yes, sir. Anyone else? I'm telling you. Yes, sir, come forth. You know, did I stutter? Well, if you find me to be a liar, I'm the first to want to know, so I can correct it. But you're not going to find it. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
What I had to ask you was a question in reference to the Message to the Black Man publication, the book rather. I'd like to know what's in the book still valid and what's not valid in there. It's one part that I always think about where I heard somewhere where you shouldn't have to pray anymore because they said God is here, Allah is here, you. So that makes me think some things in the book aren't valid this present day and some things still are. So I just want a little clarification on that.
Oh, you want to know what's valid today? In the Message to the Black Man, what's valid and what's already passed?
Yes.
Well, as far as the thing about praying, don't having to pray, that's valid today, if you're with me. Now, if you're not with me, you might better pray. You know, and that's only going to last for a while. And the reason why I say that is because of this. As long as you're in ignorance and you're expressing your will to do right, we do hear you, not necessarily me. However, the scientists do hear you. They may answer your prayer and they may not. Then if Satan already knows that you're ignorant and you will not change from your ignorance, he might answer your prayer just to make you think God has answered it, to seal your ignorance. However, if you're with me, you don't do no praying. You got to practice. You got to do. That's why it reads in the book about Solomon, he's about doing, not about praying. If you're with me, you don't have to pray. If you just think, if you go to the mathematical thinking classes, if you will think, you don't have to pray. Because the same formula that makes God God in his actions will make you God in yours. It's called mathematical thinking. So you don't have to pray. Just get busy. Now, if you're not, like I say, you might have to pray. Now, other things that is current, I think it's in Message to the Black Man or Fall of America, one about the education of this country. You know, it's being done away with. The Caucasian's killing his own education because he's out of his knowledge. He's reached his zenith. The only place he can go now is fall or come with me. So the activity that you see now in their schools and the behavior that's being brought into schools by witness to what the messenger said is true. They're killing themselves. Really what they're doing, they're upset and angry with the knowledge that they're learning and the way that they have to learn it. And then the fast pace that one has to be in to try to even pay their rent. The schools are not teaching that kind of knowledge. You go and graduate from college, you done went 50 years. When you come out, you owe $10 zillion in student loans. You know, nature is calling on you to have a wife or a girlfriend. So you're ignorant, you don't know about the rhythm method, so she's got a child or two. Now they got you on child support. They just got you all messed up. So when you come out, you cannot pick up, it's like a grown-up running wide open, and he got his 2-year-old child, and you trying to catch it. You can forget it. It's over with. However, they know they got to run that fast, because the God that's coming on the scene today, that is on the scene, is even faster than that. And he's standing still. Because truth is, and look how fast you run, you can't outrun it. And how high you jump, you can't get over it. And how low you get, you can't get under it. So I don't have to run, I just stand. And they be steady trucking, and they can't catch me.
I got another question.
Yes, sir?
Okay. I want to know about the relationship between Minister Lewis, Wharf Dean, and also Mr. Lewis having a relationship with, I believe it's a Catholic minister, Father Flager. Yeah. Could you give me a little bit of insight on that, and that'd be my last question.
Yes, sir. Well, Warwick Dean, or Wallace, the messenger's son, used to be the messenger's son, is actually in the fullness Yaqub. We allowed him to come back to see what he had made. He's the author or the father of the Caucasian. It's not that we wanted him to see white folks. We wanted him to see what white folks had done at their zenith. So we brought him back in disguise. We brought him back as the messenger's son. And so by the time we figured out, or you figured out who he is, he would have completed his duty, which was to test you and see what his people had done. Now, he made a covenant with the Pope of Rome. I'm speaking like Wallace or Warren. He made a covenant with the Pope of Rome to take the nation of Islam back to Christianity or worshiping a spook god. And he did just that. Then here comes Louis, or Minister Farrakhan. Farrakhan comes up. He's Jabril that you see blowing the trumpet. That's on the Mormon's temple. That's got the trumpet he's blowing. In reality, he is that person, Farrakhan. For the 10 years of the 80s, he resounded the message. Then after that, he reverted back into being Louis because his duty was up. If you recall, he's named a slave name and an original name together. Louis Farrakhan. Farrakhan is an original name. And the messenger said, you never put that together. However, this particular individual had a particular duty to do. Louis means lost. He is a perfect example of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. When he was on the rostrum during the 80s, after the messenger, and even when the messenger was here, every time he spoke, it was Farrakhan. When he left the rostrum, he became Louis. He wasn't going to be doing no speaking, so Farrakhan wasn't hanging around in him. When he spoke to the people in their official capacity, then Louis was too ignorant to speak. Farrakhan spoke through him. Now, when the 10 years is up, and the 9 comes in, then I step up. Then I want everybody for who they are, not somebody that's in you. I want you. That's why I come looking the way I look, so I'm not threatening to you. So if I walk up on you, you drinking wine or shooting dice or cussing at your woman or whatnot, more likely you ain't going to stop. Because you look at me, you might wonder for a second, he ain't nothing. And keep on doing what you're doing. So I caught you as what you really are. Well, if I came with the halo glowing, lightning flashing, and you see it, you jump straight. So everything I go to deal with is phony. Now, getting to the Louis part. Since he did what Wallace did, being the second beast, he got another, what do you call him, father, Flager. He got another one. He didn't make a covenant with him, but he brought him close to his bosom to show really that he's in the same accord as the first beast. And the way Louis did it was more spiritual than Wallace. Wallace killed a physical nation. Farrakhan brought the remembrance of the nation back in my mind, but he never produced it physically. So everything that he had to do to really trap us up, he had to do it from a spiritual sense. So he took with him a physical man that's don't carry the weight of the Father or the Pope, but it carries the same significance to take this man with you. And it reads clearly in the Quran, you should know it, that you do not take Jews or Christians for friends, but he takes one in his bosom, so as to perpetuate the confusion in your mind, making heaven confused. So I'm turning and trailing in the darkness of the confusion in heaven, trying to get you to see the light. However, he has made the dark or the dawn very dark. Before I get the number behind the mountain that no man could count, I got to make sure that I send the 140,000 off with their Lord. They're caught up in this confusion. You see, even if you want a lot of those ones that is with Minister Louis, parents were with the messenger. They didn't go with Louis, but they're being cursed to their face every day because their child that they brought up now is with the one that has took on this other disgrace. So they're speaking to their parents as though you don't know. You was back there with the old man. Farrakhan is the man. Allah is with him. Yeah, Allah was with Farrakhan, but he most certainly is not with Louis. So that's the correlation between those two in their actions and what they have done and is doing to us. Bean or Wallace was the testator that the Quran speaks about that tested us after we removed the teacher. That's why when Moses returned, which I have already brought the messenger back, in the fullness Moses is Elijah. In its fullness of that idea. I brought him back. And when he came back, it's written in the Quran that he went and asked Aaron, why did you do this, Louis? He said, well, you know, I was afraid if I didn't go with the way they wanted things to go, that they would take my life. I didn't want to be seen as the one that was bringing about division. And you know, they are people of mischief. They like mischief. So I made them this golden calf. So Moses was very upset with him. Matter of fact, he said, look, he reached and grabbed him by his beard and yanked it. Brought him close. Then he asked him, well, don't let your anger wax hot with me. And then he thought about it. He said, well, let me pray since I'm not the God. Let me pray and ask God to forgive him. And I'll tell you when he did it. Since we already do everything in advance, we already knew what Messenger and Lewis was going to do. So what they did before the messenger passed, he asked Allah in his prayer before we took him. He said, when Lewis turned hypocrite, would you go after him and bring him back? And because he asked while he was living, I honored his request. So we went and got and brought him back, and this is what he's did. So if that makes anything clear. But it don't make no difference what they do or have done. I'm the man. They can't get past it. Anything else?
One more question. Now, you were born in 1942, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had a twin sister.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is she part God in any way since she was born with you physically?
You say, is she a God?
Partially, since you are a lying person. Is she part a lying person also since she was born with you?
Should I really get into this? I'm going to ask again, should I get into this? Because I don't want to make this sound spooky. It's a valid question. I would like to answer from the root of it. My twin sister, you know, the original God resides in the Son, not as a human being, as energy, power, and force, and knowledge. When he discovered me, and which has always been a he, when he discovered me, we came up with a plan as to how to correct this universe and the problem that he has in it. And the only way it could be corrected, it would have to be from one that is purposely made negative free. Purposely. If it went along with the natural rhythm of creation, you automatically, if you want to be in your three-dimensional, spiritual, physical, mental, and physical, you got to be three. The Christians say Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. It means you got to be spiritual, you got to be mental, and the fullness of that all together, you got to be spiritual or physical, and all three of them got to be in one place. So now, in order for God to be in his fullness and be negative free, we had to bring about something with him in his coming that would rescind that order or take the portion that he naturally would get. So it would leave this particular person free of negative. Then by him being free, he has the right and the authority and the power to do as he will because he has no drag. I can point my finger at negative and he can't say nothing. It can't say, why are you pointing at me? Because I'm in you too. It can't say that because it's not. The air that I breathe has it, but it's not in me. My molecular system, where it's made of whatnot, is not negative. It don't have no negative in it. So how we did it, since water holds negative, and the female represents water, she's the highest expression of water. So in the womb of the one that carried us, we brought this sister, which was a portion of the original God. In other words, he didn't have to be in his fullness, just a portion that he came along with me as a female. So when we got to be born, I got with the time where we were to receive this negative, he or she at that particular time took it, my portion, and left me negative free. So that's why I had to have a spiritual twin sister. So that's why. So now she's carrying her portion and my portion. But she can carry it, however, she can carry it because she is the female part of the original God. If you understand. So my name is Royall in English, which means Allah. Her name is Ella Ray, which means she's to inherit a ray, meaning she has inherited some knowledge from me. She's not the original God. She's the female part of it. And the original God will be showing up pretty soon in his male counterpart, which they then will become husband and wife, which will make it oneness or fullness. You got it? Did I stutter? I'm just saying this because those type of answers, those type of questions, nobody can answer that. They can't answer it. I've heard the minister, he started to say, well, Solomon's having a question and answer. I'm going to do it. He started off and had a couple of questions. I don't know. When have you all, those that have been with me, when have you ever heard me say, I don't know? And the time I did say it, I said it myself. I said the only thing that I don't know is how far is forever. How deep is infinity? Where's the boundaries of space? Those I don't know. I'm just glad it exists. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, I just wanted to speak on what was shared earlier about the testing, and since I've accepted you as my father, or my spiritual and holy father, and since I've accepted the United Nation of Islam, that during this year I've went through quite a bit of trials and tribulations, like with my family, with people at work. Satan, he tried to tell me in the second voice that if I were to step away from this, things will come around for me and I would be much more at peace. But because of you and because of the trials and the tribulations, I'm here to say that I'm going to keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And my question is that I've read this in Revelation, and that it speaks of in that time that God will send the locusts, and the locusts will have bodies like horses, heads like men, tails like scorpions, and crowns on their heads. And then they would be given the power to sting mankind or punish mankind for 5 months. And I've read this over 1,000 times, and I never really had a clear understanding of it. And what I want to ask, can I have a clear understanding of that symbolism?
Well, the Bible I want to say this first. Every one of you all that come with me, even I don't care who it is, if you're red, brown, yellow, or red man, white man, when you really make your mind up to come with me, since I did it first, you're going to go through the same thing. It's almost a law. We got to find out if you for real. We got to let you know if you for real. Like I just made a statement, every word was painful. You understand what I'm saying? So you make your mind up to come. However, what you see in front of you is so rewarding. It's almost like, well, you're swimming in the ocean and you're tired and you're about ready to give up. Now you see land. You want to say, well, if I can just make it. Satan give you a cramp in your leg. You try to float for a while to get it out because you see land. If you can just make it, you got it made. And you go and you keep going until you fall and look like you're sinking, you're about to go under. And to let you know, I seen you the whole time. I was always with you. I send a dolphin, pick you up and carry you to shore. And when you get there, you say, all praise is due to Allah. I did all I could do, and then God took and did the rest. I'm with you, God, and I see that you were because you never gave up. You going down in death, and you're still saying, Allahu Akbar. You see, so if you come, expect some hardship. However, it reads from the prophets, after difficulties come ease. And I'm beginning to start to see a little bit of it now. And if you stick, you will too. Now, as far as the locusts, like I said, the Bible is a book of many parables and gives certain type of references that you have to figure out. There's no such thing, there's no need for us to take a locus, physical locus, and do that. But we have the Caucasian is a man that has studied us and our creation and has made many things after us, what we have done. He's got a helicopter that's much like the locust. You know, it's like a horse. It carries a lot of things. You know, it spits fire. It does whatever he wanted to do. That's the apparatus that they're talking about, but the man that made it and that's on the inside of it is the one that you should be aware of. But that's what it means. Otherwise, it's like saying, we're going to give this Caucasian, since you all are so damn hard-headed, we're going to give him a few months, just cut him loose on you. If you don't come after that, I'm going to go with you. If you don't come with me after he's finished with you, I'm going to go with you. In other words, we're going to let him loose, and it's going to be at the very end. When he comes back from this last war that he's going to be in, he's coming straight for the black man. He ain't looking for the brown man. He's coming straight for this black man in North America. Because most of you still belong to him. He can look at you and see you belong to him. You still drinking, smoking, chasing women. You always want the finer things of life, but you do nothing to produce it. The one that is actually producing the finer parts of life, he don't own them. He leaves them alone. He knows that's one that God owns. And he might try you then. He come up and spit in your face. Now, if you jump up into his face one night, he may kill you. But if you wipe it off and walk on, he says, damn it, that's one that's going to make it. You see? He's going to do it just before the time is up that we give him to kill you. But he's not going to have no time to kill us, the ones that's with me. The only reason why you get killed is if you do something stupid with him. You see? So that's what that means. Did that answer the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. You know, I'm saying this now about the two nations, the Nation of Islam and the United Nation of Islam. Today, I'm giving a clear understanding of the two. Now, when we leave from amongst ourselves, the black man, and our division, and we go to the natural man that is division, that's different from us. When we speak about that, and we read about it in the Bible, that's the difference in that. When we allow him to come against us, that is his nature. He's not going to find it hard to do. He just want to know, do I have the permission to do it? Because we told Satan, look, you can go get all you can. Matter of fact, the example, take Job, my trusty, worthy servant. Do what you want to do with him, except don't kill him. If you look at the fullness of the idea of Job, it's got to be the black man in North America. The white man's put everything he possibly could on us. He took our life, but not as a people. He took your mind. He made you blind, deaf, and dumb, but he didn't outright kill you right out. He got the power to do it. But he wasn't given permission to do that. Now, if you lose your life, it's because you do something stupid. If you're with me, you're not supposed to be stupid. You got it? Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
It is a great honor to be in your presence.
Speak up a little.
It is a great honor to be in your presence.
Thank you.
My first question has to do with what me and my daughter saw in my house. We were in the living room, and I could see straight in our bedroom. And my daughter was standing there, she was just standing there just looking, and just kept looking. I said, Michaela, what are you looking at? So I turned around and I looked, and what I saw was like a red mist. I can't explain. It was just like a red mist that I had saw in the bedroom. I just want to know, could you share what me and my daughters had saw?
Well, I would answer that this way. Most of the time, we don't operate that way because it still leaves you in confusion. Satan knows the people that's going to be with me. He knows it before you know it. And usually he tries to spook you out in a way that you think God should be. He'll do some kind of weird stuff to you like that, or in front of you, or show you some things, and you think, well, God got some kind of special man. He came and visit me. We don't do that. If we want to visit you, we just come to you in your head and talk to you in your head, and you know it's us. Or I just come to your house and ring your doorbell. Solomon. Or one of the brothers will come. Fundraiser dinner. In other words, everything that we do has got to be clear, so it don't promote an aura of doubt. And where there is doubt, there's Satan. Because he's going to speak to you in that doubt and bring about a way where you're going to disbelieve what's real. So what it was, if you're truly with me, you're already protected. However, he's got to get you to accept him. He just can't force himself on you. He's got to do something where you say, well, let me see what that is. And then you being curious, it's like I said, you open up yourself for him to come in. And he do all kinds of funny stuff. But he started off with the child, let the child see, and you look at what the child is looking at, and you see a red mist, you say, that's where you described it. If it was from Satan. Now, I don't know if you had the gas stove on in the house, and gas was being emitted, and you had a light on, and it showed up to be red. I won't say. I'm just saying it is not to be equated with what we do, how we do things. All right? If we do it, it's going to be clear. You're going to understand what took place.
I have another question.
Speak up.
I have another question. It's 3 dreams. I was dreaming about disasters. The first disaster was in California, and in front of me I saw it was falling in the water. It was fire. The second dream that I dreamed about, I was in space and I saw this big asteroid, and it was the size of Texas. And the third dream I dreamed about was hail, size of golf balls, some bigger. Are those supposed to come about?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So you should do what the messenger says, those that listen to this tape, fly to Allah. What you just mentioned, yes, absolutely, that's going to take place. And not going to in no distant future. It's almost right here. Naturally, California's going to break back off. And, this man here has got more pipes and stuff under the ground than he's got on top. Getting the natural resources from the earth. And, yes, most asteroids that we see or hear of today came from a planet that was between Jupiter and Mars. There used to be a planet between there. And it disintegrated. Busted up in many different parts. And for a while, it created a belt around Jupiter. And Jupiter got quite a few moons still from that same planet that disintegrated. Jupiter is the largest planet in this solar system. So a lot of asteroids that you see or hear about come from there. And matter of fact, some of you have heard this, but those who haven't, Jupiter was not as big as it used to be. It didn't used to be as big as it is now. When the planet destroyed itself, or just before it took place, the people there that lived lived in the planet went to Jupiter and tried to keep themselves going. However, since they were not of Jupiter from that particular part or that planet, they eventually died off. However, before that took place, the planet grew in size to try to accommodate them. So that's what happened. Is this making any sense to you? I don't think white folks wrote that down, so I don't, if I'm not God, I'm a good man and making up stuff. Would you say? I like this because when the question, a lot of times, it's not that I've forgotten it. It's much like Pluto. Pluto is so old, old. There's the original God, nor myself, very seldom even think about it. That's how long it's been. We almost forget about it even exists. Until somebody mentions it, and then we say, oh yeah, that's right. So a lot of times you ask questions, and it's almost like the knowledge that I have, to you all it may seem real great. To me, it's baby knowledge, like I sit to the side in the archives and lock the door on that. Then when you ask about it, it's, oh yeah, bring that up. And that confirms, that gives more confirmness to what I'm doing and the time, in my own being and mind. As you start to take it in, you see yourself. And what you do, when you hear these things coming from me, whatnot, if you want to go to the library and look up certain things, it won't be said the way that I said it, because the spirituality will be left out of it. Or you'll hear the Caucasian come across in his news something that they just found, or something they just discovered. But I've told you about it a long time ago. So it bears witness of what I'm saying is genuine. But you'll never hear them say anything that Farrakhan has said that's new. Or Warren Dean, that's new. Even Silas, that's new. They ain't got nothing new. They have nothing new. They're still the old that's under the sun. Now, if you want to deal with something new, you got to deal with me or the white man. To you, what he possesses is new, but to us is old. He just discovered it like he did this country. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Father. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Are you all learning anything?
Yes, sir.
All right, those of you that first time seeing me, don't worry about what you're seeing. Use the ear. When you go home, think. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
What I'm going to ask you is that I want to know if you can give me more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, so I can keep on learning. And every time I go to a class, a meeting, so I can keep on learning and learning and learning until I reach the final, until I come and be with you fully.
Well, I understand what you're asking, but however, that's not the thing to ask for. That way, if I were to grant what you ask in that manner, it means that you would have to learn everything as it is. Learn everything. That's not what you need. You need to learn how to learn. And that way you can carry it like a mustard seed. You got the formula. You never weight it down. Whatever you need to know, you know how to go and get it, and you got it. You use it for what it is, and you're gone. So when you get it that way, like I was talking about the fingernails, if you're going to come be with me, you say, yes, I'm with you, Allah, and I look at your fingernails, something wrong. They're not the way I made them. Then if I say, why you got the diamonds and the colors in your fingernails? Well, I wanted to make it pretty. But the way I made it is not pretty? Now, if it was just the fingernails, sister, if it's just your fingernails, fine. However, we got the fingernails for your white, to be white here, and to have your teeth white, and your eyes white. Those are the three pronounced places on your body that enhances your beauty. If you want to add something to it, put your gold earrings on, your diamond in your ear. Don't put it on your fingernail. Don't put the other color on your fingernail. If you're going to please me. Now, if you're going to please the Caucasian or please this world, you put anything you want on it. But if you say you with me, we got classes. You know, even the messenger said, if you want to see a beautiful woman, look at the natural black woman. She got to be natural. That's beauty. So I only said that just to give an example. In the course of learning, you don't want to learn everything. That's too much. You want to learn how to learn. So whatever you need, whenever you need it, bam, it's right there. You don't have to go to the library. You don't have to go ask nobody. This is the greatest computer ever to compute. And once you learn how to use this, that's it. You got it. You don't need me. You don't need no God then. And that's why the messenger said in the message, it's coming a time when nobody won't even say God. Everybody will be God, male and female. So it won't be no all praise is due to Allah. Forget that. Forget that. Waste of time. You say it now because that gives you hope to be just like Him. Computer ever to compute. And then once you learn how to use this, that's it. You got it. You don't need me. You don't need no God then. And that's why the messenger said in the message, it's coming a time when nobody won't even say God. Everybody will be God, male and female. So it won't be no all praise is due to Allah. Forget that. Forget that. Waste of time. You say it now because that gives you hope to be just like Him. to myself. I may go eat some beef soup and tell my wife, boy, that was good. You must have cooked the way I taught you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. There's a lot of there's a lot of things that happen in my life, spiritual and mental. Can you help me understand why?
Well, yes, ma'am. However, you would have to come to our classes. Start participating in the classes. Then this way, once you start learning, even if you want to learn something that's personal that you don't want brought out in the class, or you want some clarity of things that has already happened to you, I don't have to see you to give you clarity. I'll give it to you in your dream, and you wake up knowing it. You'll be so happy, it brings you relief. However, after knowing that and don't know why, even if you find out why and don't know the how, you're still going to be missing something. So the best thing to do in your journey towards me is go to the system that I got set up. Start with the mathematical thinking classes. If they got a study group here, which I think they do, search them out, find out where they are, and come to the class. Now, you will get mad in the class sometimes if things that go on, but however, this is in keeping with the prophets or the prophecy. Even with Solomon, he said when he went to the Lord, he offered the Lord, not Allah, he offered the Lord 10 burnt offerings. Meaning that these are people that got so mad with Solomon that they burnt up the foolishness that was in them. So when they got to the Lord, they were no longer foolish. In me coming against them and making them face their own ignorance and becoming wise, it brings up an anger. Especially if you're going to react the way this world teaches you, personal. He's picking on me, so you get mad. And when you find out it's not picking on you, it's just pure, unadulterated math. Then you say, oh, but then the anger now has caused you to understand, and you've been burnt. So when you get before the Lord, you're clean, you're pure. So go to the class, and then you go, and if you're for real and you really want it, all you got to do is just think. Whatever you want to answer for, and you just want me to answer it, I'll come to you and let you know. You may turn the TV on. Man on TV be talking about it and let you know. I will let you know. I will hear your prayer.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes, ma'am. Speak up.
One of my biggest problems, or one of my things that I'm struggling with in life, is the relationship between me and my mother. Can you shed some light on that? Can you tell me if it's going to get better or?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Most young people and their mothers, if your mother is over 35 years old, or now, and she was at 35 by the time the messenger passed in 1975, and she was 35 at that time, and had not accepted the message or the messenger, now you got a problem. They have devoted themselves to this world, and this world is against truth. And this is why it is written, and the prophets made it known, that the children belong to God, not the parents. And God made the children of Israel suffer and wait in the wilderness 40 days or 40 years before he allowed them to go into the promised land, so that them ignorant parents could die off. And then he took the children in. So if you're having a problem with your mother, it should be because of truth and falsehood. Not because you're too tall or too short, too fat or too thin, don't speak right, and it shouldn't be of that. It should be something that is meaningful. If your mother don't want to be right, and you want to be right, I can see it. If you want to be wrong and she want to be right, I can see. Now, if you all come to an accord or to an agreement that both of you want to be right, and in accord with the time, it will end your division or your divisiveness against each other, especially if you come with me and in the method that I'm presenting to you. It's a hurting thing. I understand, because you're my daughter, but you're not with me. And if you don't come with me, I can only accept you in one way. Not many different ways, one way. Not Christianity, not Judaism, none of that. Islam, the Islamic way, the way that I'm doing it here now with me, not the Eastern Islam, not Orthodox Islam. Ain't no such thing as Orthodox Islam with me, or I don't consider that. Orthodox means right. Islam automatically is right. You might do wrong in Islam, but Islam is right. So if you're going to say Orthodox Islam, that's like saying right Islam or right. That's redundant. So if you want to come to Islam, the way that I'm teaching that it should be expressed, the way it should be lived, I will end your problem and problems. Is there anything else? Or should we ready to go? Oh.
Hi, I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm new into the religion. I just wanted to know, when exactly did you realize that you were Allah?
Hold the mic up.
I said, I just wanted to know exactly when did you realize that you were Allah?
Well, when I realized or was made aware of who I am was in 1973. However, my character, I always knew. I just didn't know to apply the name to it. Because I was studying also. Naturally. I mean, I didn't go through no intense study. I didn't go to the library. Matter of fact, at that time, my ability to read was very poor. It's not that good now because I don't care for it. However, everything that is of nature, it seemed to fit with me like a glove. Anything that was asked of me, even when I asked my own self something about something, I could easily come up with the formula to repair it, fix it, or make it different. It was easy. So I was Allah all along. I just didn't know to apply that to it. Now, the things that are on the outside of me, like it reads in the Holy Quran, that the angels there, or the original God say they took Solomon and gave him a little knowledge of everything. And then Solomon didn't have to answer to nothing or no one. Well, in the course of that actually literally took place. The scientists, which is in the Bible, which he talked about, the 24 elders, a few of them came and took me physically around the universe and gave me a little knowledge of everything that they have done. Then I came into knowledge that I have that far superseded what they've shown me. And so when I asked them, you are talking to me as though I'm Allah. They said, you are. My nature and my character fit with it. The only thing I had to do was put in my own thinking the proper definition of what Allah really is with my character. And then I could accept it. Are you all listening?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me? So when that took place, then I checked it. You know, like if you say, if you got a math problem and you're subtracting 2 from 5, right? Or let me put it this way, let me see. If you're adding 2 and 5, you get 7. All right, now, if you want to stick with the base number, if you still see if you're right, you subtract 2 from 7, you get 5. So you know you were right. You got that? If your base number is 5, and you say 5 plus 2 is 7. Now if you want to know if you added it up right, take 2 minus 7. If it comes up 5, you got it right. If it comes up 4 or 6, something's wrong. So if that process is applied, which I used it, and it always came out, you are that. So I was formally introduced in myself as being who I am at the latter part of 1978, after Wallace had the 3 years of testing the ones that was with the messenger. However, that's formally, that's when the scientists let me know. Before then, I was told with a question, because the people that was telling me did not show me any power other than that they had a little knowledge. And at that time, I seen a lot of people with knowledge. So I just said, well, perhaps they're telling the truth. I just won't chase it. I'm not going to say I hope it is, I hope it's not. I'll just catalog and leave it alone. And at the end of the testing period, for the ones that was with the messenger, when the 3 years was up of the testing, then they came, because I had to go through the test also. And when the test was over, then they came and gave me this little knowledge of everything. And after that, I had to take 13 years to build my own family because they thought I was totally insane. And I brought them up in Islam. Now, they love their father. They see can't nothing or no one standing or breathing do anything with me. You got another question? Okay. Feel free, you're at home.
I just wanted to know if I could shake your hand.
Yes, ma'am. I may have to bend over, but you know. You weren't trying to get the spirit, were you? Okay. Is that it? Oh, we got another question? For those of you all that have had it and feel like you need to go, you need some rest, I won't feel offended if you leave. However, it might be if you don't have no real place to go and you're not pressing, it may be to your advantage if you stay and bear it out. I'm only here for a couple hours. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know, so you can put that down. I don't know.
Yes.
However, I will be back. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I have a question. Recently, I had a sister that passed away, and we used to talk about you, and she would always defend you, to other people. However, when she got sick, she would go to church, and then when she started feeling better, when you made her well, not well, but, put her on her feet, she would say her pastor did it. So when she really got sick down in the bed, I went to her, and the day before she passed away, I said to her, she couldn't talk. So I said, do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you do, blink your eyes. And she did. So in my mind, I said to her, I said, do you know why you have to leave? And she did like that. So what my question is, if she had came to you at the, before she got too sick, would you have spared her?
More than likely. What was she sick from? What was her illness?
She had triple bypass.
Heart?
Yes, sir. But however, when they went into her, they found out that she had a spot on her lung, and when they gave her the chemotherapy, and she started getting better. Then I shared with her not to do it, but she went back and got radiation, and that's when she really died, after she got the radiation.
You know what chemotherapy is? It's an unknown source of death. It's the way that the king is killing you. He's using the power that he don't have no knowledge of himself, as he should. He knows what it will do to some things, but the fullness of what it really does, he don't know. So it makes you appear to see like you're doing well for a while. But then the after effects, he hasn't learned how to deal with that like he has snake venom. If she was with me, and really with me, more than likely, yes, ma'am. However, it appears as though she wasn't. And Satan can heal you also. He can heal you. So she said the pastor healed her. She might say the pastor, but if she did do any healing, it may not have been me. Because if I heal you, usually I heal you all the way. Yes. But most of the time I don't deal in that unless you have started the classes.
Yes, sir.
Or unless you have produced an individual that is highly effective in what I'm doing. And just for that, you may not even warrant it. But just because I want to give you something. It's like you marry a beautiful wife and her father's still living, he gives her to you in full knowledge of knowing what he's giving you. And then when you get her, she's more than what you saw. Then you be so happy, you say, man, I'm going to give dad-in-law something. He ain't asked for it, but you feel like giving it to him because you're so pleased with what he gave you. A lot of times, I won't say a lot of times, sometimes I do that. And the person, they feel real good and everything, and most times they leave me. They don't even know I did it. But I just do it because it made me feel good. So if that answers the question.
Yes, sir. I also shared with her when she kept saying that the pastor's prayer had did that.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
shared with her, I said, you know, it's not all the time that, you know, God healed you. I said, Satan can also do it too. And they said I was crazy.
Yes, ma'am. Satan was talking to them, and then they talked to you. But we know you're not crazy. Yes, ma'am. I want to say this before everybody leaves. I am going to bring still to bring the secretary this time. I'm going to ask Brother Minister Andrew from Baltimore to come up and ask for charitable contributions to make sure that we continue magnifying our base. And I don't want to take from you what you're hearing today. And from all of the young people that's in the street walking around, thinking and feeling as though you're just as good as the next person. However, when you look at the next person, that's a bunch of nothing. So you are just as good as they are, nothing. And if you feel as though, well, I'm not God, if I'm not, go get yours and bring it. If he won't come, tell me where he is, I'll go see him. And if you have any knowledge of the time, you better find some God. You better find or become one. Because what is already, not what I'm bringing, what I got already here. The only way you're going to make it through is if you with me. You don't have enough knowledge to get around this. You don't have enough knowledge. You can go 2,000 by 3,000. You can't get away. You're going to go in the water one way or the other. You're going back into the water. Unless you go through Canada. And then you're going to run into some hardships there. You wish you had to try to swim. You're not going to get around it. So all this stupidity on the streets, you all that are here and the brothers that you talk with, let them have one of these tapes. They think you know so much. You don't have a job. If you do, you can't keep it because your 10 partners don't have one. They're nagging you to death on the job, so you lose it. Everything is stacked against you. The whole rhythm is stacked against you. I pull up to come into the school. I hear a brother walking by, looking at us. We looking like angels, I guess. He got his pants down below his buttocks. But he keep walking. And I only seen just a hint in his mind. Who are they? But he never broke his stride. You talking about dead. Before I got here, Caucasian pulled up beside us in the car and he looked over. He had a Jeep. He seen the sister sitting in the front with a hat on, and I had my hat on in the back. He pulled up, he took me look. Like, what is this? He got his eyes open. The dumb black man, he dead. He is, he's Lazarus. Been in the grave 400 years, 4 days. Stinking. Just thought I'd say that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
On behalf of the members of the Buffalo Study Group, we'd like to thank you for coming to Buffalo and sharing this knowledge with us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. The first thing I'd like to know is, in the Bible, in the last book of Malachi, when he talks about sending Elijah, it's the end of it. So what I want to know is, why did they come out with the New Testament instead of saying chapter 2? Is that anything to do with the new knowledge that you be sharing with us?
Well, yes, sir. The New Testament is supposed to represent the Father, or the bringing in of the Father. The Old Testament, I don't think it speaks of Father. It speaks of Jesus and all these other things about what I would be doing, the Son of Man and all that, but it don't speak of Father. I don't know of anybody that is ahead of anything that is called Father, except the Pope and myself. Now even if you call a priest Father, we know he is an extension or a lesser degree of the one that they really call Father, which is the Pope. Outside of that, I don't know of anyone that is styled as Father with any power, any real divinity other than myself. So when it comes out speaking about Jesus or comes into Matthew, that's the book goes into another covenant or what this one would be doing as a father. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The second thing I'd like to know is, it talks about a lot about the angels. Are the angels a different kind of entity or a special kind of entity from the ones here on earth?
No, sir. Angels are men and women. Most of the ones that are with me, you all are not angels, you are gods and goddesses. An angel is a person that is like a third party. You know, like you have God, the messenger, and an angel. Just angel, and the and that's in it represents three. And the gel means it's slow, or it's not as potent. You got it? So, number one and number two is more powerful and more potent than number three in that sense. So before you actually get to meet the Father, you can be an angel when you're speaking to somebody on the street that don't know anything, and you know they don't have the knowledge to deal with me. You talk with them. Then you become an angel to them. You see what I'm saying? Because you can speak in a baby language where they can understand it. However, when they started speaking in grown-up language, they got to come to the Father, or at least the Son. So that's what angel means. They are people. And that's why in the book it talks about the angel, you know, and then when we talk about the book, the Bible, it still goes into a lot of allegory and symbols and signs. So when it speaks about angels, they got 7 angels, they got 7 golden candlesticks, and it's got 7 spirits. All of these are people. However, when it speaks about angels, most of the time it is the prophets or the angels that's talking, that's in the Bible. They're talking to an ignorant people. God himself is not talking. When God does talk, he says, Son of Man, go do it. He ain't talking to the people. He's talking to the Son of Man. The people is not going to understand it. So he's talking to one. That, and then at the end in the book of Revelation, when the angels, or not angels, well, we call them scientists, were there and with the one that was sitting on the throne. And it said they wanted this person to come up and take the book from the one who sat on the throne. He wasn't an angel. But the angels wept and moaned, or the scientists wept and cried because they didn't see nobody. However, the one that came up wasn't an angel. He had knowledge enough to take the book and then open the seals up. Nobody else could do it. So it lets you know, when you say angel, that's a lesser degree in communication of what God is and what it's about. Got it?
Yes, sir. Also, after you destroy this negative and we have everything new, when we visit the other planets and other beings, will we need spaceships to travel about?
Oh, yes, sir. We're going to do that before I destroy it. You know, even if you don't just go to the planet or in it itself. You know, if you're real close to me, I may take you for a ride. You know, give you a real good one. You know, when they gave me a ride, I kind of got a little upset because I thought I wasn't moving. That's how smooth it was. It don't make sense for me to be sitting on a spacecraft. I ain't going no place. They ain't saying nothing to me. I'm sitting in the seat. I'm the only one sitting in the seat. One standing up off from me, 2 sitting off from my side, facing each other. I'm sitting in the seat, nobody else in the craft. I mean, hey, when we gonna move? So let me get up and go in and talk to this one standing there by himself. I got up, walked over there where he was at, looked out. Didn't even, it wasn't no window. As long as I was sitting, I couldn't see no window, no nothing. When I walked up, stood beside him, clear open. I could see it. Man, we was booking. Ride was smooth. Yes, sir. It won't be until, you won't have to wait until I destroy a negative. You know, it's like, I can't wait that long.
Yes, sir. This phrase of tears of joy, and I was relating that to myself, and I was wondering why when people die or anything, I don't never cry for anything. The only time I really cry is when I'm happy and listening to the tape and being in a great kind of mood. Then my emotions come up and then I will cry, but any sadness like death or anything like that, I'll never cry about. Is that something about that?
That's very good. If you do that by nature, well, then that means you don't chase negative. You don't go after death. God is a God of life. He, forget death. Matter of fact, he's destroying it. That's how much he think of it. So if you see death or misery or whatnot, you don't cry about it, fine, that's good. You're a good man. Come on, be with me. Now, if you're going to be happy and shed tears of joy about things that's happy, it's because you see something in front of you that represents life, a reason for life. And it makes you happy because you know you got a journey that you're going on. It's almost like, well, you go to bed, you say, well, I'm about ready to make love to my wife. You done got her all ready all day long, call her up. Told her how much you love her. Brought her home a flower. Not flowers. Cost too much. Brought her home a flower. Bring her in and talk to her whatnot, and she's smiling. So you take your time going to bed. You might not go into about 12:30, 1 o'clock, taking your time. You know, like taking wine, you don't drink it, just put it in your mouth and let it go around to taste it and get the firmness in it and get the sting that it's got, and then you spit it out. So you're happy. It gives you something that, it gives you that anticipation. And the anticipation is so rewarding that it's not going to fail you. You say, oh boy, it's so good, so you cry. You keep doing that, you're going to live a long time.
Yes, sir. One last question. Since negative came with you in the beginning, due to other beings on another planet, have they mastered controlling negative?
Mastered it? They have contained it. And the only reason why they have is because negative or Satan himself, or at that time itself, always resided wherever Allah was. Because that was his chief opponent. Since I'm here on this planet, and the original Allah is in the sun, then Satan's chief opponent is myself. So it wouldn't do him much good to be on Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune. He's there. However, he's not at such degree where they can't contain it and keep it manageable. Where it is unmanageable is here. And the only way we allowed it to be unmanageable is because we left. And we made a man to carry out what Satan would do while we were gone. So it made Satan, wherever he is, come to this collective point here in North America and to combine all of his forces to do battle with me. So it left the other planets somewhat free of his influence, because he's trying to get himself all pumped up for the final conflict. You all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's what's happening.
Thank you very much, Father. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Well, if that's it, you got yes, sir. Are you all learning anything? I want to thank you all that came for a distance, came here from a distance. Don't get up and leave, especially those of you that are here for the first time. Don't just run out. Talk to some of the ones that's here. Visit the table. Ask questions. Don't just leave like you're leaving out of church and you want to hurry up and get away from the people because you know all them sinners anyhow. They was only good for a couple minutes. They wasn't really good then because they were just singing and sitting there. That's what they were doing. If the preacher didn't tell them what hymn to sing and what verse to read, they'd still be bad reading church. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
My comment is, I've been listening to the idea for about a year now. I accepted the idea for the first time at the Unity Festival this July.
Yes, sir.
Here it is, less than a month later. Not only are you here in Buffalo, but you're right across the street from my house. My question to you is it coincidence or are you trying to tell me something?
Well, since you already accepted, I've already told you. Now it's just an addition. So keep it up. You're in the right place, and don't let Satan make you think you're not.
Thank you very much, Father.
Yes, sir. Wa alaikum salam. Yes, ma'am. Those of you all that are leaving, if you're leaving, make sure you stop by the table and check what we're doing. Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
I don't really know how to ask this question, but I have made up in my mind that I want to be with you. And I grew up in a Baptist family, and my mother's having a very hard time accepting this along with my sons. And it's kind of tearing me and my family apart. But I want to go on, but I really don't want to lose my family by doing so. Can you help me with this?
Well, this is where faith comes in. Until you gain enough knowledge, where knowledge can confirm what you want to do.
Thank you,
if
Father.
what you've already heard and is hearing touches your heart, then make your mind have enough faith to chase it down or to be in accord with it. There isn't anything that you're going to find or hear from me that's going to be against you. This is where it comes in about us being dead. When you don't know, you just don't know. However, the time is up for us that we got to know. To be with me, it don't mean that, well, because you heard it, you heard a couple of tapes, whatnot, then you run over and you right away. Things are done. If you got it in your heart and you really want to be with me, you can take a step today, wait a couple of days, take another step. Every step you take, make sure it's sure. And as you're drinking the water and you hold it for a while, then the water starts to become you. Then you won't be confused, and that's how I actually help you. I'm not going to do anything extra, because extra is always wrong. I'm just going to do what has to be done. And I'm doing it. You're a beautiful sister. If it's hard for you and your mother to accept what I'm doing, it's because your level of understanding as to what you're coming into is not where it should be. But don't give it up. Just because you don't accept it today and you're confirmed in it, if you play the tape, play 10 minutes of it today, 20 minutes tomorrow, wait next week, play some more. And I guarantee you, with what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and what I am doing, you're going to come.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. And look, don't worry about what nobody says. In the Bible, I think it reads, when Jesus or the Christ was saying, you pick your cross up, first he said, go curse your mother and your father. Your mother and father. Not your cousin. Go curse them. And then you come pick up your cross and follow me. So don't worry about it. You got every tub got to sit on its own bottom. Every knee going to bend. Every tongue must confess. If you got a tongue, you live it. So nobody can save you for you. So when somebody else comes up with their opinion and it's ringing true in your heart, you might note the opinion, but forget that. Let it go. Stick with what's in your heart. And if you stick with it and you get help and it don't pan out, well, then try something else. However, I'm here today. I'm making my word bond. It's not going to be just a word. I'm bringing it into the physical. When I say we take it down the stock market, it's going down. If I say it's going to rain and have a hailstorm, hail big as blocks of ice, busting your house down, knocking down these tall structures, look for it. It's on its way. All right? Yes, sir. Well, what time is it? We're going to have to get ready to go because we got to get out of here. If nobody don't have a real pressing question, I'm going to let this be the last one. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
On the Tate family reunion, I heard you say we were brought up from the earth and we were ignorant until the breath of life was breathed into us. My question is, was the entity in the body when it was brought up, or when the breath of life was breathed into it, did it come in at that point?
It came in at that point. In other words, the breath of life was the entity.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It's the same process when you were born. Well, today, since things are wiser and weak and weaker but wiser, it used to be a time when you were born, when babies were born, and you had to spank them to make them catch their breath like. Then they start breathing because they've been so used to being into the water and they've been used to breathing water. So when they come out of that reality into a totally different reality, they were like in shock. What am I to do here? So then the lungs start pumping. Today, when you do that, or then and even today, you may not be spanked, but when you come out, you look around, you automatically start breathing. When you take that first breath, the entity comes in. In other words, the intelligence for that body comes in then. There's no need for it until then. There's no need for it to be there while it's in the mother, because then it's like making a car. When it's in the factory being put together, ain't no need for a driver, it can't be driven. When it's finished and completed, then you can put a driver inside of it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to call up Brother Minister Andrew. Is he here? Oh, I'm going to call Brother Minister Andrew up, and I would like for him to ask for charity. And I hope you all give generously if you have it, if you don't have it. But don't feel bad because I don't have it either. And check the table out, like I said. And if there's a great overwhelming for my return, I shall return. Thank you for coming. Assalamu alaikum.